New court documents reveals more about Epstein's relationship with JPMorgan Chase.
Whoops.
Reveal a deeper relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and JPMorgan Chase, with prosecutors filing exhibits containing hundreds of new emails. The bank accused of facilitating Epstein's child sex trafficking operation and has been criticized for slow document production. The involvement of JPMorgan CEO Jamie Dimon remains a central question. While an email implicates him in approving a $120 million transfer, the bank claims Dimon was unaware of Epstein as a client. Epstein has direct contact with multiple bank employees, including Jess Staley, the head of the wealth and later investment banking divisions, who received business advice and connections. Mubait.
No, I'm Gucci.
Staley allegedly supplied Epstein with confidential information and favors in exchange for bank turning a blind eye to his sex trafficking convictions. Staley's association with Epstein led to his resignation as Barclays CEO. Vinny, what do we know about this?
Just when you think the Epstein stuff is like dying out or something's like gonna stop, it's like it keeps coming. It's the Epstein saga. Anything that has to do with covering up this pedophilia ring, it's happening. Like when he got suicided in jail. It's like a bad murder mystery. The cameras were off. People weren't looking. The driver did this. By the way, JPMorgan and Jeffrey Epstein emails were released, and now, Pat, this was a couple days ago, they JPMorgan mistakenly deleted 47 emails. The Security Exchange Commission fined Chase only $4 million. How convenient. All the business records, which are supposed to hold for 3 years under the SEC rules, were deleted. Dated from January 1st to April 23rd, 2018. They were deleted in June 2019 from 8,700 mailboxes, including those belonging to as many 7,500 employees. And it's like, Pat, and then a random, I swear to you, I was telling Rob this, I was waiting for somebody to either accidentally pass away or something like that. Jim Crown, who was a board member of JPMorgan Chase, died on Sunday in a random plane crash. And let's not forget, Pat, they just paid Chase $290 million for all the situations with everything with the where was it, Rob, where the island and all that situation. Listen, it's hush money. They were hoping that money would have everybody shut up, but and again, going back to they're in on it. Chase Bank is in on all this shit with Epstein, and now what?
They're being accused.
They're being accused of. But Pat, they're paying these little fine. $200 million is nothing to Chase Bank. And then again, we're accidentally, this is
$290 million. Settle a lawsuit alleging it knowingly benefited from direct client Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking, according to a court filing Tuesday. Lawyers of Epstein's victims filed a notice of settlement in Manhattan, saying the deal has approved the deal. The 209 will go to a class of women who claim to have been victims of Epstein, as much as 30% set aside for their lawyers, according to the filings. So 70% went to the women.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's just, again, Adam, this is hush money, bro.
Vinny, let me tell you. I don't know, man. I don't know if people think that banks are willing to turn a blind eye to this type of stuff and throw their morals out the window for money.
Okay.
I don't know if banks these days are willing to put profits ahead of people. I don't know if banks are willing to do that. There's been no indications that banks like this, like Deutsche Bank or Wells Fargo, or any of these banks are willing to basically throw all their moral convictions out the window for a blank check. Vinny, I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Am I reaching?
But I don't think that these banks would ever do something unscrupulous like this.
We've had The Big Short, now we have The Big Screw. So it's like, the movie's coming.
Yeah, it's just, and again, we talked about this for how many weeks about accountability. They're not going to do $290 million is nothing. This whole situation with kids, I'm going back to that the war, the war of good and evil. Evil is just kicking out.
Well,
bro.
you know, as I always say, follow the money, brother.
Always,
I mean, there's got to do some money laundering and washing it around. And if some of the Epstein people are willing to basically whitewash $300 million, whatever the number is, there'll be a bank willing to do that. I guarantee you that.
Well, I'm with Chase, and I'm going to be leaving Chase very shortly.
No, I think what you also see here, what was it, $40 million was the supplemental fine for the...
No, $4 million for deleting 47 million emails. Mistakenly. Somebody said, whoops.
You know how that works? It goes like this. You're my attorney.
Yeah.
Hey, Vinny?
Yep.
If... This is kind of weird. Yep. So if these emails get out, what's the penalty? Well, they already did $200 $90 million. Could be another couple $100 million. Yeah, but what's a fine from the FEC if we basically
$4 million-ish? Not too crazy. Why?
Okay, well let's just we'll just add that to the cost of the suit, and let's do what we got to do.
Okay, so just pull the trigger.
Happens every day, and whether and by the way, it's sad, but this is part of the corruption and the two levels of justice that we have in this country. You know, the wealthy are able to make these decisions, hide behind it, stall the suit, all these things like this, and evidence is, withheld, destroyed, and things like this. Sorry to be a downer, but let's just talk about what the reality is. And to your point that you made very loud and sarcastically, you're absolutely right. They're like, what kind of business are you in? Well, I do this and this, and I do this and this. Anybody knows the story of Pablo Escobar, they know there was two regional Miami banks and basically the Central Bank of Panama that were turning a blind eye to Pablo Escobar because they had massive deposits that the bank took in Miami, massive deposits, and then they were loaning those out as home loans and car loans and had a very fine little business because you need what? Assets to make loans.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.